This post-COVID workforce has been completely transformed in the way that they learn and consume information. So if you try to train and develop them the same way you did before the pandemic, you're going to get a completely different result, and it won't be the one you want. In this episode of Stop and Start, I'll share 3 crucial strategies you must embrace if you want to stop wasting their time and your training dollars. Remember how you first learned to ride a bicycle? I'm sure it wasn't easy, and you may even have a few old scars to prove it. That's because heavy, clunking training wheels were attached to the back of your bike. You had to learn how to balance with the training wheels on, and then completely relearn how to balance once they came off. Well, that's how I learned, and it's how I taught my son Zach how to ride a bike. But my daughter Whitney discovered a much better way to teach her 2 young boys how to ride. 6-year-old Augie has been riding on 2 wheels for several years now, and his 3-year-old younger brother, Sonny, is learning to ride just like Augie did. Neither of these little guys has ever been on a bike with training wheels. Instead, they've learned to ride on balance bikes, which are essentially bikes without pedals. Little tykes simply sit on these pedalless bikes and run their legs and feet along the ground while coasting between strides. This teaches them how to balance their bodies. Then, when they are ready to take the next step and transition to a bike with pedals, they do so with ease, skill, and confidence. For them, pedaling is like fitting in the last piece of the puzzle. All the hard work of learning how to balance has been internalized, and it's become a part of them for the rest of their life. After all, they say, you never forget how to ride a bike. Well, balance bikes are an easier, safer, and much more fun way to learn than the old training wheel system that you and I experienced 20, 30, or 50 years ago. Yes, you can still purchase those heavy, awkward training wheels at just about any bike or sports retailer in America, but it's clearly not the best way, or even a good way to teach bike riding in today's world. So how does this relate to training employees in your business? Well, if you can't remember when you last revamped, or at the very least, updated your training tactics, tools, and technologies, that time is here and now. You see, members of this new emerging workforce are not going to read an employee handbook, or role play in stale scenarios, or sit and watch training videos for endless periods of time and then emerge as solid contributors in your business. To get your front line to go all in their own training and development, 3 things need to occur. Number 1, they must feel safe, not placed in awkward situations where the odds of them failing and being embarrassed are high. Number 2, the training must be directly relevant to the job the individual is performing. Now, if all your employees are expected to perform all the same tasks, then one-size-fits-all training is a good practice. But if you hire different employees for different positions, keep the training specific to the role that each employee needs to master. They need to know that each phase is directly applicable to their role and will equip them to deal with the actual scenarios they will encounter. And 3, your training must include gamification, or at least have a built-in feedback mechanism to help the individual keep track of where they are in their own development, how well they're progressing compared to what they need to know and what they must be able to do, and what they will be learning in future trainings. Now, when you consider the myriad of skills, practices, and procedures you need to inculcate in your frontline employees before you put them to work in your operation, you'll see that this is too important to ignore. So, stop using obsolete training wheel methodologies and start helping your hires find their balance. Thanks for watching another episode of Stop and Start. There's plenty more to come, so please subscribe and add your comments below.